Good evening and welcome. Thank you for being here tonight to share in this very special occasion. If everyone could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may sit now. I would like to introduce the officers of this year's National Honor Society. I am the President, Katie Tully, followed by Vice President Grace Miller, Secretary Alexis Berkeley, and Treasurer Brianna Blanchard. I would now like to introduce Ms. Cooker, the Best National Honor Society Advisor, to the podium.
Good evening. On behalf of the staff, administration, community of Sterling High School, and the National Honor Society, I would like to welcome you all to the 2022 induction ceremony. I would like to thank our administration and Board of Education members for all of their support. Lastly, I would like to commend and thank our selected staff honorary staff member, Mr. Goffredo. Tonight, we honor the students on stage for their accomplishments. We congratulate them on their effort and achievement. We thank their teachers, counselors, mentors, and coaches for shaping our students academically, intellectually, emotionally, and mentally. Most importantly, we honor you, parents and guardians, who play the most important role in your students' achievement and success. This ceremony defines National Honor Society pillars representing scholarship, character, leadership, and service. As advisor, I have had this special opportunity to witness that in each of the students here today. At this time, I would like to introduce Director of Secondary Education, Mrs. Considine, to the podium.
Good evening. First and foremost, congratulations. This is an extraordinary accomplishment, and tonight we recognize the years of hard work and service of the students on stage. Your achievements in the areas of scholarship, leadership, service, and character are being honored here tonight by your induction into this prestigious society. This is a wonderful way for the school and community, your family and friends, to recognize and celebrate the choices you have made. Please continue to embody the 4 characteristics being honored tonight. Work hard, help others, lead by example, be trustworthy, responsible, and fair. If you continue the path that led you to this point, I can assure you a successful and fulfilling life. Congratulations again.
The candle of knowledge symbolizes the light of learning. It is surrounded by the 4 pillars of the National Honor Society: scholarship, leadership, character, and service. The candle of knowledge will be used to light the 4 pillars. Scholarship means commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours reading and studying, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn when formal education has ended, for education ends only with the end of life. Knowledge is one great element in life which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired in only one way: through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp with which we read the past and the light which illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship.
Service can be described in various ways. In the routine of the day's work, many opportunities arise to help others. Willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without monetary compensation or recognition is the quality we seek in our membership. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and abilities to the creation of a better tomorrow.
Character is the force within each individual which distinguishes that person from others. It gives each of us our individuality. It is that without which no one can respect oneself nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is the force of character that guides us on through life and when once developed grows steadily. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant action, daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be in reality what we wish to appear to others. By demonstrating such qualities such as respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, caring, and citizenship, we hope to prove by example that we value character.
Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in class and school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to attain the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interest of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a country, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed, thus to lead is substantive charge to each of our members.
At this time, our senior members will now honor their mentors who have guided them and encouraged them throughout their journeys. We ask that each mentor come up to the stage to bestow the NHS stole upon them.
Mr. Gebhardt is my member. He is commonly known as Mr. G by many of his students. He was my teacher for woodworking, but more than that, he taught me many valuable life lessons and taught me that to persevere and to strive for bigger and better things, you must have the courage to take the first step. Many lessons were taught in woodworking, one of the first being how to cut the wood. Despite my many missteps and mishaps the first few times, Mr. G always taught me that you can reapproach from another angle, take a step back, or even restart, and that it was always okay to do these things. The next lesson that we learned was how to sand the wood down. With this, I learned that not every piece of wood starts out perfectly smooth, and that it takes time and a lot of patience to refine and smoothen the wood, and that in life, it takes time to refine and smoothen out your path, so be patient and never give up on it. The third lesson that I learned in woodworking was working on the finer details. In woodworking, to create pieces that had cuts through the middle, you had to do so extremely carefully, with a fine blade that would bend and break under too much pressure. Learning the patience and learning that it's always okay to grab a new blade and try again was also an extremely valuable life lesson. So I want to thank Mr. G for always being a great mentor and being one of the sole reasons why I actually applied to NHS.
Considering a mentor as someone who is reliable, encouraging, thoughtful, and honest, choosing one was an easy decision. Mr. Goffredo exhibits all of these qualities along with many others. Goff is my mentor for many reasons, but especially because he has constant faith in me and pushes me to challenge myself in every aspect of life. Without his guidance and support, I wouldn't be this person or student I am today. From academics to athletics to music taste, Goff has positively influenced me in every way. I first met Goff towards the end of my sophomore year, and ever since then he has pushed me to fight for what I want, the most prime example being an even more challenging schedule. Rather than telling me to take the safe route, Goff continuously encourages me to work harder and challenge myself to be better. Even on my bad days, I can't help but laugh at the never-ending jokes Goff tells during class, and it is comforting to know that his door is always open for when I need advice about anything. When I leave Sterling, I know Goff's enthusiasm and humor will be one of the things I miss most, and I will always remember the funny examples he uses to help me remember certain concepts in class. Although I have never been very outgoing, it is Goff's vibrant personality and enthusiasm that have brought me out of my shell. It's thanks to Goff that I found a love for science and medicine, and I'm not sure how I can ever truly thank him for everything he has done for me. Thank you for helping me become my best self, and thank you for helping me expand my musical horizons, and most importantly, thank you for being the best mentor.
When I reflect on the best teachers I've had over my academic career, Mr. Carpenter easily comes to mind. I have been fortunate enough to have had Carp as a teacher over the last 2 years and again in the latter half of this year. Carp has taught me more than just the curriculum of the AMSCO exam prep book that I may or may not have had to duct tape together due to its overusage. Being enrolled in his AP US history class has brought out a work ethic and level of determination I did not know I possessed. As cheesy as it sounds, having Carp as a teacher allowed me to see anything is possible when you put your mind to it. Whether you like history or absolutely despise it, I strongly believe that every one of Carp's students has enjoyed sitting in his classroom. Carp is the type of teacher you are generally excited to see on a Monday morning. He goes above and beyond to ensure his students feel loved and respected. By watching the way Carp connects with his students, it's evident to see that he would do anything in his power to help them succeed. As my high school years come to an end in the approaching months, and I enter college with a major in education, I would be incredibly lucky if I'm able to become half as good as a teacher as Mr. Carpenter. Carp, I'm so glad to have had you. I'm so glad Sterling has allowed us to cross paths, and I'm extremely thankful to have you as a mentor.
When I was asked to choose a mentor, Ms. Forcellini was one of the first people to come to mind. I look up to her for her compassion and her leadership. She is never afraid to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves and is kind to everyone around her. I want to thank her for everything she has done for me. Whether it has been pushing me on the soccer field or giving me pep talks during school when I'm having a bad day, she is always the person I look up to for advice and motivation. She always finds a way to be positive, even when everyone around her has their heads down, and she can always find a way to make anyone smile. I want to also thank her for introducing me to Alani Nu energy drinks. I look forward to our conversations about which flavors we are drinking that day and the new flavors that are coming out. I can always count on her to have an Alani if I ever need one. Though I have never had Miss Force in class, she has had a huge impact on my life. She is always there to listen whenever I need to vent about what is going on in my life, and she always gives the best advice in return. I know that I can always count on her to have my back and support me in whatever I am going through. She has been more than just a coach for these past 4 years. She has been an amazing role model, and I am grateful to have had such an amazing person in my life. I am happy to call her my mentor. Thank you. Mentor, an experienced and trusted advisor. Strauss, an experienced and trusted advisor. Even though I've never had Strauss, and only Strauss, not Mr., that be his father, as a teacher in all my time at Sterling, he has been my mentor basically from the first day I met him my freshman year. After making it into class office with Strauss as my class advisor and spending almost every study hall I had in his studio, I was able to see how perfectly he exemplifies the characteristics of a mentor, like good character, optimism, and leadership, for example. Strauss always believes in me and is always there for me when I'm in need of some assurance that everything's going to be okay, despite a bad test score or losing a big game. He always finds the positive in situations that nobody else could ever find a silver lining in. His advice, which demonstrates his honesty and character, has helped me make good decisions. No matter how much I wanted to take the easy way out, he would always tell me to go the right way. Kind of like a goody two-shoes, but in the best way possible. He always makes it clear that his door is always open and I'm always welcome in the studio for anything and everything. Strauss is one of my biggest fans of Sterling and wants nothing but for me to succeed. His support motivates me to always go above and beyond, just like him. You could ask anyone and they would be able to tell you how amazing of a person Strauss is. His impact on my life will never be forgotten, so I'm beyond honored to be able to say he is my mentor.
Evening, everyone. When I think of a mentor, I think of someone who not only guides me academically, but guides me personally. For as long as I can remember, I've been an artist. I've always loved to create and design because it came so easily. I have always enjoyed all my art classes, but never have I enjoyed a class as much as Mrs. Phillips's. Never have I had an art teacher who challenges me like she does. Her enthusiasm to educate students about the importance and beauty of art inspires me greatly. I remember a project I did recently where I thought I would fail, but she kept telling me to go through with it anyway. This changed me as an artist, for it was the first time I was truly challenged. I continued with the project, and by the end, I loved it, and more importantly, Mrs. Phillips loved it. Mrs. Phillips helped me realize that having challenges is crucial to improve. She has taught me many things, and for that, I look up to her not only as an artist, but as a person. She never fails to put a smile on both me and my classmates' face, and for that I'm thankful. I appreciate her enthusiasm and guidance, and I am again thankful to have Mrs. Phillips here tonight as my mentor. Thank you.
Strauss. Oh, that was loud. You are one of the kindest people I have ever met. You take on so many roles in life. As I've known you, you're an amazing teacher, parent, coach, Blue Coats PA announcer, and backup Sixers PA announcer. You're an amazing human being, and I'm forever grateful to have you as a mentor. You alone has made my high school experience unforgettable. I've known you to be a kind, selfless, caring person to so many people around you. Throughout these past few years, I've gone through the worst and best experience of my life so far. You've been there for me whenever it was needed, easy and difficult. I have so many thanks to give out to you. If you were not the coach of the girls' tennis team, I do not think I would have ever joined. And due to me joining and loving the game, I was voted team captain of my second year of playing, and the main reason I was extremely grateful for that opportunity is because my pop-up was able to be proud of me before he passed away. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to make him happy one last time. And I know he is thankful for you too, and who you are to me. Your care to me throughout the loss of him was the greatest thing you could have ever done to help me and my family out. We are all grateful. You are one of the teachers here at Sterling High School who has made one of the biggest impacts on my life. I couldn't thank you enough. You've got me involved in many activities here and have done so much more for me, and therefore I continue to be inspired to be an amazing person like you are. I thank you endlessly. You are a huge part of why I'm standing here today with a smile on my face. You will be missed by so many people from this graduating class this year. I think I could speak for many of us when we all say we appreciate you and who you are. So Strauss, let me end this all here. Though I may never be able to take anything serious when you are being serious to me, and I just laugh at you,
I hope you never forget all the good, silly, and serious memories because I never will. Thank you for everything.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cole Doms, and I chose Mr. Shields as my mentor. I may not have had Shields as a teacher at any point, but I have had him as a coach. Despite not having a long relationship, Shields has taught me a value that I will carry with me throughout my entire life. This value is perseverance. Shields has been my cross-country and track coach here at Sterling. I'm sure a lot of you know just how difficult and challenging these sports can be. The amount of time and training that goes in these sports is very extensive and is certainly not easy. There were many school days where after 7 hours of action-packed tests, quizzes, learning, and an occasional nap, that I wondered if I could even bring myself to run. I'd ask myself, can I do it again today? Could I endure another long run? Could I gut out another intense workout? The answer was always yes. Through Shields' guidance in running, he taught me that no matter how difficult something may seem, you can accomplish it as long as you don't let yourself quit. As I was crossing the line after running my last high school cross-country race, despite being on the brink of passing out, I was proud of myself for being able to persevere through all the hardship that comes with running and racing. This perseverance is something that can be applied to almost anything in life. Anything you want to achieve in life can be achieved as long as you put in the work required to get it. Anything you want in life can be achieved as long as you don't let yourself quit on it. Shields would always say that you get out of the sport what you put into it, often in response to team-wide complaints regarding what we'd be doing in practice. This was the best possible response as it inspired me and others to work hard and improve ourselves. It inspired me and others to achieve the success that we wanted. This same perseverance is what's going to carry me to success in everything I do in the future, just as it often carried my legs to the finish line. Thank you for giving me this value, Shields.
Good evening. When I joined the NJROTC program, I was reserved but eager to learn the facets of leadership and participate in unit activities like drill and academic meetups. Since the start of my freshman year, I've been grateful to be learning under my mentor, a person of integrity and great understanding whose experience speaks for itself. I found many similarities between me and my mentor and realized that I could build my leadership skills from them. He served as the best exemplar for me to venture into how my own personality traits can affect the way I lead and follow. I learned how I could use my me character and be a good leader. He taught me the value of respect among peers and the significance of being fair. Whenever something would go weary, he would always give me insightful notes of guidance, allowing me to develop my decision-making skills rather than fixing the problem himself, a hallmark of a great mentor. His influence has not only affected my role in ROTC, but has also helped shape my character, adopting traits of honesty and integrity. His passion for what he does continues to inspire me in and outside of ROTC to better myself and helps me keep sight of the things that truly matter. I know that I can always ask him for help when I need it, and he is always willing to have constructive conversations. For these reasons, I'm glad to have Commander Eric Humphreys as my mentor.
Hello everyone, my name is Haley Hughes, and to me a mentor is someone who sees potential in those who may not see it in themselves. My stepfather, Mark Berg, is someone who recognized my potential and gave me the guidance I needed to improve as a student. Mark is a knowledgeable math teacher at Woodbury High School and has a gift for making learning fun. He is known to fill a room with laughter with his humorous personality that makes his teaching so entertaining. Ever since I was 7 years old, Mark has been someone that I look up to. He is a hard worker, which is something I admire most about him. Anytime I need help with school or advice in general, Mark is there to guide me in the right direction. Throughout elementary and middle school, I seemed to struggle with my academics. One of the main reasons I struggled so much in school was due to self-doubt. I was constantly second-guessing myself and was completely oblivious to how much I was truly capable of. When I was struggling in school, he taught me how to have confidence while learning. My achievements today wouldn't have been attainable without Mark. He introduced me to efficient ways of studying, which changed my outlook on school and life as well. I am extremely grateful for Mark, and I aspire to be as smart and hardworking as him one day.
Hello everyone, my name is Quinn Hughes, and at this time I would like to tell you about someone who is not only my teacher, my lifelong neighbor, but an extension of my family. For those of you that don't know Mr. Filkowski, he's a prominent member of our community. Currently he's teaching 6th grade science and social studies at Yellow Middle School. However, our paths had crossed long before I had reached the 6th grade. Since the day I was born, Mr. Filkowski has lived one door over from me. In my eyes, he took on a Mr. Rogers persona minus the sweater vest and the singing. It wasn't uncommon for our families to come together and have dinner, go on vacations, or just be around each other. Throughout my time knowing Mr. Filkowski, I can confidently say that no one has ever made me think as critically about the world as he has. Even before I had him as a social studies teacher, I would often find him challenging me to think about things from all perspectives. Through him, I learned that open-minded people don't care to be right, but they care to understand. But with this open-mindedness, he has taught me healthy skepticism, meaning don't take things for their face value, and to think more critically about the world around me. These lessons only magnified when I stepped into his classroom for the first time. Although we might not realize it, Mr. Filkowski has taught me all these things throughout my time knowing him, and he made it easy for me to pick my mentor tonight, and I can say with great certainty that his influence will continue with me for a long time to come. Thank you.
Good evening. Ever since the age of 12, I would hear stories about the notoriously funny teacher who knew my family so well. With both of my sisters having taken Mr. Goffredo's classes, I would hear them speak very highly of him. Now that I've taken 3 of his classes, it is safe to say he lives up to the hype he receives on a daily basis. When I started the Allied Health program freshman year, I learned I would be taking classes with him as well. I was super excited because I already knew of him and understood that he's the type of teacher who genuinely wants his students to succeed, both inside of the classroom and in life after high school. The work in these classes and the studying that comes with it is very challenging. However, I know Goffredo would not give his classes the course load he does if he knew his students couldn't handle the work that comes with it. Looking into my near future and the hopes of going to college for nursing, I knew it would be best for me to take Goffredo's classes. However, I was apprehensive when making my schedule because I was unsure if I could handle the intensity of the classes. When I expressed these concerns to Goffredo, he reassured me that I would be able to do it if I put my mind to it. Mr. Goffredo goes to lengths for his students I've never seen. Whether it's helping them in study hall or answering questions after school hours, I know he'll always be there to make sure my classmates and I are living up to our academic potential. Currently, I am taking Anatomy 1 and Medical Terminology with him, so I have the pleasure of seeing him twice a day. He's continuously a positive outlook in my life
and the lives of all other students who take his classes. I couldn't ask for a better fake cousin. You the man, Goff.
Good evening. I'm Victor Don. I've looked up to numerous adults throughout my life in high school. The most remarkable and notable person is who I picked for my mentor today. This person has been there for me since the beginning of freshman year. She's been a very compassionate, nurturing, and supportive individual towards me and every student in the school. She would always make time to comfort and talk to anyone on any day at any time. This teacher has inspired me to look on the bright side in every situation. She taught me to step outside my comfort zone, participate in school activities that I usually wouldn't partake in. She persuaded me to run for student government and participate in Mrs. Sterling. To my surprise, I ended up becoming vice president and taking home the crown. This teacher has given me sensational advice that I will forever remember for the rest of my life. One of which was when she strictly informed me to stop using my hands while playing soccer. Although I didn't listen to such a helpful suggestion, I still appreciated her concern for my playing style. In conclusion, I'm extremely thankful for this teacher and grateful for everything she's done for me. My mentor today is none other than Kelly Johnson.
Good evening. Unfortunately, my mentor, Mr. Behringer, couldn't be here tonight. Luckily, it might save me some tears. I first met Mr. Behringer when I decided to help with the production of the Black History Assembly my freshman year. I kept to myself for the most part and decided that it would be better for me to control the spotlight rather than be under it. Though my part in that year's amazing show was not directly seen, he never made me feel like the work I put in was any less. Fast forward to my sophomore year, and I'm in his African American Studies class, eager to find out why he seemed to be everyone's favorite teacher. I quickly understood my peers' adoration simply by the way he walked into class, or onto the computer screen, I should say. This was during COVID. He had a bright smile, a hot cup of coffee, and the ability to make everyone, even timid little me, feel the need to share my voice. From then on, I could never pass by him in the halls without sharing a few words that always made my day a little bit brighter. From then on, I knew any conversation we shared, I'd walk away feeling better than I did before. I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. I mean, you can never find Mr. Behringer walking down the hallway quiet. There's always someone talking to him, and behind them is someone waiting. I chose Mr. Behringer because his ability to connect with his students is what makes him stand out to me farther than nearly all the teachers I've met. His ability to not only recognize students' potential, but pull it out in a way that is unique to each student is why I chose him to be my mentor. Mr. Behringer, you're one of the realest people I know, and you've impacted my time here more than I can imagine. Thank you. I'll never forget it.
Good evening. I'm Brianna Loper, and I chose Marlies to be my mentor. Marlies was the first person who came to mind when I was told to choose a mentor. To me, a mentor is someone who embodies character, motivation, and inspiration, and Marley's does just that. I first met Marley's in his Law and Public Safety 1 class of my junior year. To be honest, I had no interest in anything involving crime or law before, but that all changed after I took his class. Marley's knows how to incorporate fun into his teaching, which makes it more interesting and engaging. I'm usually a shy student and don't like public speaking, but his class changed that for me. When I found out we would be doing mock trials and everyone had to speak, I panicked a little inside, but as the class went on and I got more and more engaged into the topics we were learning, it became something I loved. The encouraging feedback Marley's gave me really helped me come out of my shell and overall become a better student. Having Marley's as a teacher and taking his class was a core highlight of all my 4 years here at Sterling. Not only did Marley's make my work ethic better, but he made me a better person. No teacher ever really engaged me into this class like Marley's did. I retained valuable information from him, and his class inspired me to go into criminology for my major once I start college. Not wanting to learn about law and then choosing it as my major is a big jump, and I think it truly showcases how amazing Marley's is, not just as an educator, but as a person. Thank you, Marley's, for being an inspiration to me, and even though you couldn't make it here tonight, I'm honored to call you my mentor.
When Mr. Marley's began coaching Cherry Hill girls soccer, he called my sister and asked her if I needed somewhere to play, and if I'd play for his new team. There's never been more perfect timing. I had just come off of a team where I had the worst experience, mentally and athletically. I was ready to give up on playing the game that I'd loved since I was 3 years old. Any athlete knows that a coach can make or break you. My last few coaches had broken me. From my first practice with Marley's, I fell in love with playing all over again. It wasn't just because of the drills we did or the way the turf field glistened under the lights or the way that the team seemed to melt together under his leadership, but it was the simple fact that he cared. No one, until I met Marley's in a leadership position, has ever showed that they truly cared. On our walk down to the field before practice, we'd talk about school, soccer, track, plans for the future, or anything I was stressing about all week, just waiting for it to be Thursday night. I'll never forget summer of junior year when I was struggling with making a decision about my athletic career. I reached out to Marley's because I didn't know where else to go. No one would give me a straight answer or any valid reasons either way. They just kept saying, do what's best for you. But the case was, I did not have a single clue what that was. Marley's talked to me for about 30 minutes before he informed me that he was at a family event. I was so shocked that he had taken the time to talk to me, never mind in the middle of being with family. From that day forward, I knew I'd always have somewhere to go if I couldn't make a decision on my own, even after I thought about what Marley's would probably tell me. Whether it was about soccer, school, or life in general, Marley's has never failed to give me complete, thoughtful advice or make time in his busy days to listen to whatever problem I may have. When I graduate this year, a big part of the reason will be that the door to 211 was always open, unless Mr. Behringer stole him for lunch at Nuccio's before I got there.
A mentor can be defined as someone who sets a positive example for those around them. The mentor I chose is Mr. Goffredo, someone who has influenced my life since I was first taught by him in dynamics sophomore year. Not only did I love the content we were learning, but I also appreciated how interactive and fun the class was. Goffredo always finds ways to involve every student in the class activities and creates a team-like environment. His constant reliability and generous attitude are two qualities I aspire to have every day. Generosity is not an easy quality to possess. However, Goff is someone that many students in the school know they can count on no matter what. Goff's generous and inclusive attitude are one of the many reasons why I chose him as my mentor. As my mentor, Goff is always supportive of me as I work to reach my goals. Whether we are in class, on the soccer field, or just talking about life, he has always provided me with the best advice. Sometimes this is as simple as a song or band suggestion. However, I always look forward to the insight he provides. He has always pushed me, as well as other students, to put in the work and not take the easy way out of anything. My academic work ethic has been influenced by him greatly, and for that, I cannot thank him enough. I also want to thank him for always believing in me, even during times I didn't believe in myself. The constant support of my mentor will always be appreciated, even beyond my time here at Sterling. As a student, I have always connected well with teachers who bring a good sense of humor to lessons and discussions. Goffredo never hesitates to make me laugh, and I enjoy joking around with him throughout the school day. I'm grateful to have a mentor that I can share a laugh with on any type of day, even if it means clearing out the hallway or stopping class to have a thumb war. I appreciate my mentor's ability to lighten up just about any situation. I can't even begin to thank him enough for all the laughs, music, support, and so much more. My mentor has impacted my life in so many ways, and I will carry his influence with me as I continue my journey beyond high school. Thank you.
To me, a mentor is someone who can provide guidance, support, and motivation. When thinking of a mentor, I think of someone who has influenced not only my work ethic, but also my personal growth. Although I did not have the opportunity of having him as a teacher for a long time, Mr. Behringer was and is still able to share lasting impacts and valuable lessons that I'm able to apply to my life. I had the pleasure of having Behringer as a teacher last year in sociology class, and ever since then, he has done nothing but show me kindness and respect. Even before having him as a teacher myself, I heard good things about him from friends and classmates who had him prior. He's welcoming and makes sure that everyone feels included. His funny and bright personality easily fills the room with laughter and makes learning fun. He really values open discussions and knows that the best way for us to open up is by talking about things that we're actually interested in and connecting them to the lesson. Even now, without having Behringer as my teacher, I know that I can always come to him if I ever need guidance and support. He's a relatable person you can actually trust to talk to and give you advice, and I'm glad I have the opportunity to call him my mentor.
Many may mistake a mentor for someone who is outspoken and extroverted, and while that may be true in some cases, to me, a mentor is someone that you can trust, someone that is non-judgmental and accepting, and someone that pushes you to be the absolute best you can be through means of constructive feedback and mutual respect. A mentor doesn't need to be outgoing or assertive. Some of the best mentors and leaders may be overlooked because of their soft-spoken manner or lack of assertiveness, but in my opinion, quiet leaders make for the best advisors. Choosing my mentor was an easy feat. In deliberating my criteria of a praiseworthy mentor, Miss O'Neill came to my mind instantaneously. With my first 2 years of high school being cut short and being remote, I lacked the opportunity to form relationships and bonds with any of my teachers. My junior year, however, Miss O'Neill was the first teacher that I felt genuinely connected to and impacted by. While there are many other teachers and staff here at Sterling that have had a positive impact on me throughout the years, Miss O'Neill was the first teacher I could truly relate to. Here at Sterling, she is known around the school for her kindness and compassion. Her patience and understanding is unmatched by any, and the empathy and respect she holds for her students are some of the key factors in why her students love her so much. Miss O'Neill has helped me to foster a love and appreciation for English literature and language, which I intend pursuing further in my collegiate years, and her adaptable teaching has allowed me to gain a greater confidence in my literary skills. Her gentle yet direct approach at giving constructive feedback not only on classwork and writing, but on personal character, helped me to develop a myriad of necessary skills to help me improve in all aspects of life. She is always willing and eager to give advice whenever necessary, and even made room in her busy schedule to help me with my college application essays, despite my last-minute request. I am beyond thankful for her generosity and compassionate nature. which have made a lasting impact on my time here at Sterling High School, and I will forever be grateful for her kindness and acceptance. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Josh Moreland. Now, I could have chose any of my amazing teachers who have taught me so much about various subjects. However, I wanted to take this time to thank my parents for everything they have done for me. Many people have complimented me on my character and ability to be a consistent academic weapon. My mother and father have taught me how to handle the pressures of being an athlete as well as to endure the stresses of being a high school student. My parents have led by example in teaching me the correct way to act and to carry myself. My mother in particular has pushed me to get out of my comfort zone and to be one of the leaders of the school this year by urging me to run for student government secretary. Sometimes in life you need a little push that guides you in the correct path to follow. For me, it was one of the best decisions of my senior year because now I can help better the school in many ways that I couldn't do before. I know that I would have not have gotten as far or accomplished as much as I would have without them. They have done so much for me, from attending all my soccer games since I was 3 years old to coming to my sectional final game this past weekend 14 years later. From being disappointed in me for not understanding long division in middle school to me being accepted to the National Honor Society in my last year of high school. The support and love from my parents has given me the support and love my parents have given me for athletics, academics, and whenever I just needed them to be there for me has been unmatched. I am extremely thankful and appreciative to my parents, like you in my life, and I will continue to do the best to make you two proud. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Wynn. A mentor has different meanings depending on that person. To me, a mentor is someone that provides guidance on developing skills and to create a new perspective on life. I chose Mr. Carpenter as my mentor because he left an everlasting impact on me, and I would like to thank him for being my history teacher for 2 years. History is not my favorite subject and has never been my best either, but Mr. Carp made it manageable. His personality and passion for history helped me become the person I am standing at this podium. He always gives the best advice on subjects in and outside of school. Before entering high school, I used to be reserved and kept to myself most of the time. I wanted to be received as someone that demonstrates respect, courtesy, and honesty. With the help of Mr. Carp, I was able to achieve all of these. Maintaining good grades was a challenge for the past few years of my life, and my hard work always paid off. I take many AP classes, and Mr. Carp's AP US History was where I began to struggle. I struggled more mentally than I did academically. Junior year, I began to feel burnt out as a student, and I procrastinated almost all of my schoolwork. Many know Mr. Carp as the man who enjoys living out in the mountains and makes the most out of life. He once said not to beat yourself up over grades and to enjoy your teenage years. With that advice in mind, I took a step back and allowed myself to forget about my schoolwork. As I was able to think about what I can do to maintain my character and scholarships at the same time. After that, it was like I saw life in a whole different perspective, and I got my schoolwork done while having time for my social life. Mr. Carp showed me the importance of the balance between school and social. I will forever be grateful for having you as my teacher, and thank you for everything you have taught me.
On behalf of Chloe, who could not attend tonight, we are still going to read her speech by Bree Blanchard.
I have loved singing since I was little. It always brought me joy. But I lacked one thing, confidence. I would sing around the house, but was not comfortable taking lessons or singing in a choir. As I slowly gained confidence throughout the years, I decided to start taking singing lessons and join choir my freshman year. However, I don't feel like some of the singing teachers I've had in the past did a great job at pushing me to reach my fullest potential. Yes, they were skilled at teaching me new techniques, but didn't teach me how to sing with true confidence. Although I've only known this teacher for a couple months, I picked her for my mentor because she has already changed our school's music program. Adjusting to a new teacher is hard, but Mrs. Blankenship made the transition effortless. Teaching songs such as Making Christmas from The Nightmare Before Christmas is definitely not an easy task, but Mrs. Blankenship has patience with her students and makes the process as easy as it can possibly be. Through pieces like I Sing Because I'm Happy, our choir has gained confidence and has overall grown as the Sterling Voices. Not to mention, the ambition Mrs. Blankenship has for spreading the word of the music program has already recruited many new members. I am glad to have such an experienced, caring teacher taking leadership in choir, Silvertones, and the upcoming musical. I want to thank her for all her hard work and dedication to Sterling's music program. I am very excited to continue to learn from her and grow my music abilities.
Hi, I'm Ryan Scully. When I think of what a mentor means to me, I think of someone who can get work done but also have fun in class along the way. Someone you can go to for help if it's about a class or guidance of any kind. Miss Walsh is the first person that comes to mind when I think of those characteristics. Taking sophomore year chemistry during remote and in person was a struggle, but she was able to teach the class in a way that was entertaining and informational and easy to understand over the computer for those who chose remote. When I told her I was going through a burnout, she understood and offered to give me help outside of class. Miss Walsh was always there for our class and went out of her way to make sure we understood the lesson. She's not only a good teacher, but she knows how to have fun. Mrs. Walsh believes in her students, and she knows how to get you to excel in her class. As a shy student in class, having a teacher that you can talk to is always a nice thing to have. She always gives you motivation, and her door is always open in case I need something. Overall, Mrs. Walsh has been one of my biggest supporters throughout my time at Sterling, and I'm very happy to call her my mentor. Thank you.
What's up, guys? My name is Braden. My mentor is Mike Simonuk. Mike was an outstanding swimmer in high school and college. He currently is a successful engineer for the U.S. government, but to me, he's a swim coach, mentor, and friend. He's been coaching me for 4 years now at South Jersey Aquatic Club, and I wouldn't want to call anyone else coach. His consistency and positive attitude that he brings to the pool has motivated me to better myself every day. He also continues to train and has completed an Ironman triathlon, which is one of my goals for the future. A famous quote by John Wooden is, "A good coach can change a game, a great coach can change a life." Mike is someone that I can look up to, and I can proudly say I would want to be like him when I'm older. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Marissa. When I think about my mentor, an obvious person comes to mind for not the most obvious reasons. Many people can call their parents a mentor. They've been there for them, been a guide, and taught them countless things. My mother is my mentor for these reasons and so many more. She's faced a lot in her life, from illness to loss, but she was strong through it all. It is through these moments where I witnessed her strength and courage that I've learned the most from. She showed me how to be resilient. Attitude is everything. Watching her fight, even when things were tough, showed me how to be tough and never give up. I'll always face things with the best attitude possible because of her. I know the ways to face situations because I learned from her. A mentor to me is someone who has affected your life and been there for you, but above all else is someone you look up to, someone you hope to be, someone who is giving you more than you can ever return. When I graduate from Sterling this year, I know I'll feel confident heading into the next chapter of my life because of my mom. I'll take everything she's given me, from the traits I have now and the skills I've learned, to be someone who is strong and brave. I know how to be because of her. I wouldn't be the person I am today without you, Mom. Thank you for being my mentor.
All right, so before I even start to boost his ego with what I wrote, I just want to say that choosing a mentor was surprisingly difficult. I've heard so many speeches here, I heard speeches last year, and they all seem to find their mentor really easily. But in my 3 years, now 4th year in Sterling, so many teachers have helped me become the person that I am today, that picking one was not that easy. So when I realized I did eventually have to pick one, the one that's been there even before my Sterling career started was the one I eventually chose. When you first come to Sterling High, Senior Chief may be one of the most frightening staff members to meet. My first impression of him was in 7th grade when I started attending the ROTC middle school camps, and as a 13-year-old, that man is terrifying. I was so nervous to get into high school and have to deal with a grumpy old guy who yells at people every day, and I was not mentally prepared for that. However, starting school at Sterling with him was not what I had planned at all. When joining the ROTC program, I realized that it wasn't just about discipline and standing up straight for 40 minutes, but about treating each other like family. Senior Chief was the one person who taught me that the most. On the outside, he may seem mean and cruel, but when you get to know him, or rather, when he gets to know you, he can be one of the sweetest, most caring people you interact with. He knows when to kick me off my butt and get me going again, or when to tell me just to suck it up, but he's also fully aware of how sensitive some situations are. Senior Chief has been watching me grow since the very beginning, and has been assisting in it for longer than I've even realized before this. I'm incredibly grateful for the time my Senior Chief puts into the program, into the cadets, and into me. He knows I can go places, and I want to prove him right. Thank you.
Sorry. It was a year ago that I sat on the stage and listened to the seniors give their speeches to people who supported them the most, their mentors. I was in my junior year and I felt disconnected from the people around me. Of course, I knew I was supported by many people, but it seemed like everyone had a prominent figure at school that was an obvious choice. Coming out of quarantine, I struggled to connect with teachers like I used to, but this year, Sterling got a new music teacher. I've only known Miss Blankenship for 4 months, but she has truly become an important person to me. My experiences as a student involved in the music department have never been so engaging, inspiring, and fun. I feel supported and listened to every day. Miss Blankenship has been one of the only teachers who has offered her support academically, emotionally, and mentally. She teaches us with enthusiasm and kindness. In these past few months, she's reminded me to be observant and to look out for others just by being herself. She does not just see us as her students, but as our individual selves, and she adapts the way she teaches for each student to ensure they understand new concepts. Miss Blankenship has offered her office to countless students who she feels may need someone to talk to. Whether or not she knows them well, her intuition and empathetic approach to bonding with students has made her a prominent and safe person at school for me and many others. I know I can count on her for anything because of the deeper level of understanding she emits. I'm so grateful to have met such a special person, and I'm so excited for what the rest of the year will bring.
My bad. Okay. A mentor to me is someone you can look up to, is an inspiration day in and day out, and someone who is there for you through the good and bad times. When I was asked to pick a mentor, there was no doubt in my mind to who it would be. This person has become a huge part of my life since I stepped foot into Sterling. He has helped me to grow and challenge myself to accomplish things I would have never thought were possible, which is why for my mentor I chose Strauss. After our first year of high school being cut short, sophomore year I became a class officer, and this is when I truly began to build a relationship with this teacher. He became somebody that I could go to when I needed help, needed to vent, or just needed a place to hang out. Room 402 became my school home, which made him kind of like my school dad. Although I only ever had him as a teacher when we were remote, I've had the pleasure of having him as my class advisor these past 4 years, and most recently as my running and tennis coach. There were times last year when I was truly struggling to get through some of my classes, and there Strauss was, ready and willing to help me however he could. Strauss is someone who I look up to for not only his dedication to the school and students, but his dedication to make himself better and stronger every day. He never fails to put a smile on my face with his dad jokes, sarcastic comments, but also his inspiration and motivation. I would have never thought it was possible to run 26.2 miles, but somehow through his uplifting words and great sales talk, I completed my first half and full marathon this past year. Training is not an easy thing, and if it wasn't for his support and encouragement through it all, I would have given up halfway. It is a refreshing thought coming to school knowing you have someone in your corner that only wants the best for you and will help you to strive. This fall, I decided to join the tennis team, and I will forever be grateful that I did because the atmosphere that Strauss creates as the coach made the team feel like another family to me. You could walk into practice not feeling the best, but always come off the court at the end with a smile on your face. No matter the outcome of a match, Strauss is there on the sidelines waiting to send positivity and words of encouragement. Strauss has been there for me, in and out of the classroom. He has shown how much he truly cares. I tend to wear my emotions on my face, so whenever I walk into Strauss's classroom, he can tell right away what type of day it's been and always figures out a way to make it better. It is never a dull moment in room 402. There is something to be said when someone you barely knew 4 years ago can come into your life and make such a huge and positive impact in such little time. I would have never thought one of my high school teachers could become like family to me. Strauss has inspired me to challenge myself and adventure out of my comfort zone time and time again. He goes above and beyond for all of his students and does whatever he can to help them succeed in the classroom and in all their extracurriculars. Lastly, Strauss, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for me this past 4 years. Thank you for all the motivating, heartfelt, inspirational, encouraging words. Thank you for being one of my biggest supporters. There's a lot I would not have accomplished this past year if it wasn't for you. And finally, thank you for all the lucky pennies. I truly appreciate everything you've done for me and will forever be grateful. Thank you for being my mentor.
Sorry. A mentor could be many things, but I personally believe a mentor is someone who pushes and guides you to be your best. Someone who has pushed me to work hard every day is Mr. Abbott, otherwise known as Jeff. When I first met Jeff last year, I would have never expected him to have the lasting impact on my life that he does now. He is someone that I know I can always go to for guidance, no matter the situation. Whether it's sports related or personal, I know he'll always help lead me in the right directions. From the softball season to the cheer season, he has consistently brought a positive energy to his teams. To be honest, I can be pretty lazy at times, but Jeff has continuously pushed me to work hard every practice and has never failed to help me make improvements to become a better athlete. Softball was never really my favorite sport to play, but after having Jeff as a coach, he made playing fun and enjoyable. Every practice, he would come and work with the team, whether it was running the bases or hitting fungo, and he always did it with a smile on his face. After seeing him so eager and thrilled to coach, I realized that I should come to practice with that same energy. It really is true when they say a good coach makes a good team. Although Jeff is a great softball coach, he's an even better cheer coach. This past fall was his first year as head coach, and he has already made so many improvements to the team. One of the main reasons I consider Jeff a mentor is because he's always quick to put a smile on the faces of those around him. He may have some of the corniest jokes imaginable and uses words like fire and glizzy, but he somehow manages to always get everyone to laugh. I'd also like to say he's the most patient person I've met. Considering he coaches an all-girls team, he puts up with all the attitudes and emotions very well. Trust me, I've had my fair share of emotional moments, and he's never hesitated to help me calm down. I hope to one day have the same positivity, patience, and passion that Jeff has. There are not enough words to describe how appreciative I am to have a mentor like him in my life.
Good evening. I'm Jade Wiley. A typical schedule for a teacher at Sterling begins at 7:30 and ends at 2:30. The teacher that I'm honoring tonight goes above and beyond that schedule, thinking of their students no matter what time it is. If she observes a student visibly upset while struggling with the complexity of physics, she not only approaches the student to console her, but to offer lists of potential tutors, additional practice problems, and her time. The responsibility of teaching is demanding enough, so when a student like me is bombarding her with questions, this individual not only responds with patience and understanding, but also with reassuring messages through Microsoft Teams, especially the night before a test. Knowing that I have her support and knowing she believes in me as a student has made such a positive impact that my once feared physics class has now become my favorite. This is because of a caring, devoted, and exceptional teacher named Ms. Packer, with whom I owe a lot of gratitude. Thank you, Ms. Packer, for being more than just a teacher, but a mentor to all students, especially me. I know you don't get extra credit, but hopefully you remember this when grades are due. Thanks again, Ms. Packer.
At this time, I would like to ask the new members to rise and recite the National Honor Society Pledge, and for the current members to reaffirm the pledge. I pledge myself to uphold the high purpose of the National Honor Society to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands. I'll be loyal to my school. And I will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. This year's new members have now officially been inducted into the Sterling's chapter of the National Honor Society. Now for our new members. Jordan Baker. Alyssa Brown. Anaya Brown. Chloe Chestnut. Jacob Clark. Damon Collins. Cara Capolino. Emma D'Amico. Nevin Ganscott. Aaliyah Herman. Caitlin Hoffaker. Victor John. Joshua Moreland. Braden Sheehan. Vincent Stepfury. Devin Safransky. Jade Wiley. Shay Wiley. Congratulations to all the new inductees.
I would now like to introduce this year's honorary staff member, Mr. Goffredo. He has been selected as this year's honorary staff member by the National Honor Society students. He has been a tremendous educator and mentor for the students on stage. Please welcome Mr. Goffredo.
Hi, everybody. The awkwardness between Kate McVeigh and I, that was planned. I saved the awkwardness for right now. So, come on. Where's my tie? 21st century. All right, welcome all. Thanks for coming. Hope you paid to get in because I know that these guys can't get in unless they drop a $5 in here, so I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I grew up in this community. It is an honor to be here as part of this National Honor Society induction ceremony. I'd like to thank the board, administration, my colleagues, and most importantly, the parents and students who persevered to be on the stage tonight. Looking back, I didn't really have the conviction as a teenager to put myself on the stage. And while hindsight is 2020, and I know I can't go back and change that, what I can do is continue advocating for all of you guys so that you guys might make better choices than I did then. So when I figured out that I was going to be here tonight, I had to sit down and write a speech, right? And I figured I talk all the time, I talk too much, and I thought that that would be easy, but it wasn't. But I kept coming back to this idea of why I whistle, okay? So what does that have to do? What does whistling have to do with the great people on the stage? Well, I think it's a lot, actually. So you've all heard it throughout the day. I know I've made my colleagues happy a lot with it, okay? But I beg to raise the question, and hear me on this. How can anybody be upset with me whistling Madonna, Fifth Block, okay? Personal choice. And just quick story, all my groomsmen walked in at my wedding to Madonna. I could have picked any song. I picked Madonna, so why not? All right, whistling is kind of my expression of happiness. It's a way that lets me know things are going well. So that being said, what is going well? On many occasions, I've seen you guys show humility in learning in life. Humility in the sense that many of you have grown to understand that you have special gifts and intangibles, yet you're not above or disinterested in listening or seeking help. You guys have kept your ears open objectively to progress farther, to reach academic milestones, and to improve your relationships. In other words, you don't take constructive criticism and help for granted. The best of the best are lifelong learners, active listeners, and those that are willing to self-reflect. Does what we do as a group in 207 factor in any of this somehow? Maybe, maybe not. For the fact that you've decided not to take a step back this year, or decide that you progress beyond simple advice or a conversation with a teacher is an inspiration. It shows your maturity, and it definitely shows your humility. I won't forget the conversations I've had with you guys. I won't forget your character, and for those reasons, I'm going to whistle in the hallways. I see your choices that you consistently make that reflect your future goals and ambitions. I came to a point in my senior year where I saw people around me applying for college, but there wasn't any conversations at home from me. So, in typical Mike fashion, I picked 3, and I applied, and I said that was good enough, right? Well, no, it really wasn't, and it's definitely not good enough for you guys, okay? Many of you have said I won't avoid the rigor and will take those AP classes and extra classes that align with your future plans. You've signed up for the SAT again to try for a better score. You hold jobs, you're a part of clubs and teams, yet you balance it all in stride. You continue to take that harder route because you know nothing in life comes easy. These actions say you value your abilities, your future, and you will not abide by a policy of good enough like I did. You've considered your path, you've considered what school might fit your personality and help you mature. Most importantly, you guys have considered futures that center on the service of others. From law to nursing to PT to oncology, if not for you guys, then who? Someday I'm going to be old, and that's a big someday, okay? If you guys are the ones taking care of me, I'm going to be really satisfied. For all of those reasons and your commitment to this school and to yourselves, I'll whistle in the hallways. Most importantly, that is, I've seen your kindness. Big or small, it can make a difference, and it's made a difference to me. You've given your time towards the inclusions of those with special needs. You voted for somebody other than yourself because you thought that they deserved it. You turned your car around to pick up somebody new in the parking lot. You've waited for a friend with car trouble after school. You've translated for somebody without being asked, refused to leave that person behind. You've said thank you to a coach for just having a practice. You've shown respect for your teachers. You've shown respect for yourselves. And for all those reasons, I'm going to whistle in the hallways. To my mentorees, thank you guys. I hope I've earned it. You guys, and I mean it, and you know it, are the best part of my day. And when it is my time to be a parent, I hope my kids are just like you guys. Thank you.
Congratulations to the entire Sterling High School National Honor Society. Thank you to everyone for your support and participation in tonight's event, and a special thank you to the Board of Education, Sterling Administration, Mr. K and the Sterling Tech crew, the NHS committee, all the mentors here tonight, and the maintenance department. Have a wonderful evening.